The world recognizes February 21st as the International Mother Language Day. But does it reflect an actual history that started before 1952? The magnitude of the day can only be comprehended by looking almost 4 years before. In 1947, British India was partitioned into India and Pakistan. Pakistan had two wings, West Pakistan and East Pakistan. Immediately after its creation, the question was raised: what would be the state language of Pakistan? At that time, the total population was 75 million. Among them, 42 million were from East Pakistan, with Bangla as their mother tongue. After the independence, Jinnah announced in Dhaka that without one state language, no nation can remain solidly. Meanwhile, the Education Minister Fazlur Rahman took serious preparation in various forums under the central government's name to establish Urdu as the only state language of Pakistan. The first response came from Tamaddun Majlis. It was a pro-Islamic organization headed by a professor of the University of Dhaka named Abul Qasim. A pamphlet titled Pakistaner Rashtra Bhasha, Bangla na Urdu was issued by Tamaddun Majlis. They emphasized the demand for Bengali to be one of the state languages of Pakistan. In the language movement's early stage, Professor Abul Qasim played a key role by enlightening the younger generation, students, teachers, and educational institutions alike. He also gathered widespread support for adopting Bangla as one of the state languages of Pakistan. On December 6, 1947, students held a protest meeting at the Dhaka University campus demanding that Bengali be made one of the Pakistan's state languages. At the end of December, with the help of Professor Nurul Haq Bhuiyan of Tamaddun Majlis, the first Rashtra Bhasha Sangram Parishad was formed. In Karachi's Constituent Assembly session, it was proposed the member would have to speak either in Urdu or in English at the assembly. Dhirendranath Datta placed a motion in the assembly to include Bangla as one of the languages. In his speech, he mentioned almost 54% of Pakistani people speak Bengali as their mother tongue. Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan and Chief Minister of East Bengal Khaja Najimuddin and many others opposed it. The province went to protest mode, hearing the news of rejection. On February 26th, a protest strike was observed. The next day, original Rashtra Bhasha Sangram Parishad was reconstituted and formed a fresh new language action committee. This time, Rashtra Bhasha Sangram Parishad allowed other organizations to join except Muslim League. The newly formed Rashtra Bhasha Sangram Parishad declared a general strike on 11th March. Picketing was taking place in front of government offices. Student leaders were also taking part in processions and picketing. Police arrested student leaders like Kaji Gholam Mahabub, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Shaukat Ali, Samsul Haq. In the afternoon, a student rally started to advance toward the Chief Minister's house. Police stopped the rally in front of the High Court area, and rally changed its course towards Secretariat building. Police attacked in the procession. Several students and leaders were injured. Shere Bangla A.K. Fazlul Haq was also injured during the attack. The strike was extended till 5th of March. On the last day, students gathered to protest against the police action of March 11 in front of the residence of Chief Minister Najimuddin. Under such circumstances, Khaja Najimuddin had to give in. He signed an 8-point agreement including the release of all imprisoned demonstrators to diffuse tension in province. He also promised that the Provincial Assembly would adopt a resolution for making Bengali the official language and medium of instruction at all stages of education. He further agreed that the Provincial Assembly would recommend the Pakistani National Assembly to grant Bengali equal status with Urdu, including using it for recruitment examination in the central government. Although he agreed to a few terms and conditions, he did not comply with their demand that Bangla is made a state language. Muhammad Ali Jinnah came to visit Dhaka for the first time after the independence in 1947. He gave two separate speeches on 21st March at Ramna Racecourse Maidan and March 24th at Dhaka University. In both speeches, Jinnah clearly stated that Urdu and only Urdu would be the state language of Pakistan. The statement was immediately protested on the spot by students and audience. In the All Pakistan Education Conference of Teachers, Education Minister Fazlur Rahman proposed to change the script of Bangla language to Arabic or Urdu script for the sake of Islam. As expected, students and intellectuals reacted sharply. A protest memorandum was sent to Education Advisory Board by Dhaka University. Because of the changes in political landscape, the language movement became somewhat a passive matter between mid-1948 to 1951. Muhammad Ali Jinnah died on September 11, 1948. With the death of Jinnah, the implementation of the Urdu policy was delayed because of the growing political crisis and economic conditions. Day by day, East Pakistani people were losing faith in Muslim League. In the middle of this situation, a new political party emerged named Awami Muslim League. Khaja Najimuddin came to Dhaka to attend a meeting at Palton Maidan. Najimuddin is now Prime Minister of Pakistan. In the meeting, he said, provincial language can be selected by the people of province, but the state language of Pakistan would be Urdu. A protest broke out all over the province after hearing Najimuddin's word. Awami Muslim League called a secret meeting with other political organizations. In the meeting, it was unanimously decided that students alone cannot carry out the language movement and Maulana Bhashani should lead the movement forward. All-party Central Language Action Committee was formed. The Language Action Committee informed the press that they would arrange a colossal display of their might and declared a general strike on February 21, 1952. The date February 21st was selected because the East Bengal Legislative Assembly Provincial Muslim League Council meeting and budget session of East Bengal was supposed to take place on the very day. The committee thought it was the right time to reignite the language movement. The government responded by banning all the assemblies and demonstrations. Dhaka city was imposed with Section 144 by the government. On the day before the strike, the Language Action Committee held a meeting to decide whether to violate Section 144 or not. They couldn't reach to a conclusion. At 7:30 of the morning, police took position in possible flashpoints of the University of Dhaka. Students from various schools and colleges of Dhaka were gathering on the campus at 9 a.m. A student meeting was held at Dhaka Medical College area at 11 a.m. A strategic plan was made. Instead of going through a massive rally, group of 10 persons should be on the streets in batches. This move was made to ensure not creating mass violence, simultaneously violating Section 144. By 11:15 a.m., the students attempted to break the police line at the university gate. Students began going out in the streets in small groups and voluntarily got arrested by breaking Section 144. The police were embarrassed at their inability to accommodate enough people to stop the protest. This peaceful demonstration didn't continue for long. Soon, streets were flooded with students. Police reacted by entering the campus and baton charges on students. Students retaliated by throwing bricks at the police. Tear gas shells were fired towards the gate to control the situation. Police blank fired to warn the students and scattered them, resulting in riots spreading to the nearby campuses of Dhaka Medical and Engineering College. Reinforcement came to suppress the protesters. Police and paramilitary forces started widespread tear gas selling, throwing gas grenades, and assault. Even female student wasn't spared from the police assault. The medical college gate was primarily concentrated there and receiving the most attention from the police force. Between 2 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., students had the upper hand, forcing the police to take shelters in the local shops in that area. As the East Bengal Legislative Assembly budget session was about to start soon, the students decided to prevent the ministers from reaching the assembly hall. At 3 p.m., police baton charges for the last time as the situation was getting worse. As the student wanted to head towards the East Bengal Legislative Assembly Hall, which was in session at 3:20 p.m., students tried to break the police and make a way for themselves to reach there in time. As the situation intensified, District Magistrate ordered the police to open fire. In a 30-minute blitz, starting at 3:20 p.m., one language demonstrator after another started falling on the ground in front of the Dhaka Medical College hospital. Blood was everywhere. The exact number of deaths is yet to be known. Dhaka city's earth was made crimson by the blood of these innocent people. East Bangla would never be the same again. It was the first time in history that a nation had to shed blood for the right to speak their native language. Rage erupted in Dhaka as people heard the news of killing. The protest was getting bigger, stronger, and intense as people were coming to the Dhaka Medical College campus. At the Legislative Assembly building, the session was about to begin. Hearing the shooting news, some member of the assembly went out and joined the students. Public demonstration and procession continued for next 3 to 4 days, even though the curfew was still imposed. As a tribute to martyrs who gave up their life for Bengali language, students erected a column now known as Shahid Minar. The East Bengal Legislative Assembly adopted a resolution recommending the recognition of Bangla as one of the state languages of Pakistan. The language movement continued until 1956. The movement achieved its goal by forcing the Pakistan Constituent Assembly in adopting both Bangla and Urdu as the state languages of Pakistan. While the assembly was debating on the language issue, member Adiluddin Ahmed made a vital amendment proposal adopted unanimously by the assembly. Both Bangla and Urdu were thus enacted to be the state languages of Pakistan.